Who's ready to begin some Collapse, a Political Simulator, Part 1. First time load. Probably should have tested the load before tonight. Oh, wait. Nope, that's not the right. Okay, that's not like, I'm not starting at 15 hours. Let's try this again. Oh, it's gotta do the Microsoft, etc., etc. Let's try this again. Hold on a second. Okay. So, now who's ready to begin? Collapse, a Political Simulator, Part 1. This game does not call for violence or illegal actions. The game is purely entertaining and is not intended to, do all this stuff. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. Alright, so, we can save the game. Great. I would hope that nothing less than that on this kind of a game. We can load mods. There's an encyclopedia. Whew. I will say right off the bat, this sound effect is a little grainy. Alright, settings. Autosave. Ugh, I'm tempted. Auto start after pause. Oh, there we go. Right. We done. What? Apply. Thank you. Alrighty. New game. Easy, standard, or hard? The East European Republic had just gained its independence, but its leader had already fled when the impoverished people and banned parties rose in the revolt. And now you are the most powerful party in the region. Forward to victory. Your party is too weak to fight. Try to survive. Well, a place for a new leader is vacant. Forward! Achievements are only available in Last Hero mode. Attention, a scenario should only not be any lighter than the standard one. Collapse. The economy of the Republic is absolutely destroyed, and the old leader fled with the rest of the budget. Try to lift the Republic from knees, or it will be we who will stand on them. Mr. L will definitely visit you as soon as possible, but before you meet with him, think if this will lead to consequences so unexpected that you cannot even imagine. So we've got a bunch of... Oh, is this our... Okay. We can choose which political party... Ooh, there's a lot here. Okay, so BG, Blue Guard, was created during the First Russian Revolution. Its goal was the struggle for independence from the Russian Empire and the creation of a republican state. She got her color thanks to the shape of their combat wing, which was blue. Blue Guard during the First World War. The text rolls on. Wow. The party campaigned against the conflict, declaring that it is not a Republican thing to die for the Russian Tsar, thanks to which it also gained its support among the people. And after the October Revolution, the Republican National Assembly was created, where in the elections to the local assembly, the party managed to gain about 50 seats, and thereby lead the country. The first thing Blue Guard signed peace with Germany. But she had to pay for it with the Western region. The rite of passage of troops, food supplies to the German army, and partial loss of independence. The Republic de facto became a German puppet. After the invasion of the Red Army on the territory of the country in February 1919, only the Western region was under the control of the Blue Guard, but they were knocked out by the Red Army forces in 1923. During the Nazi occupation, Blue Guard was on the side of the Third Reich for a while, but soon began to fight against both the USSR and Germany. After the end of the war, the party was defeated by the NKVD forces. So the party would have gone to the dustbin of history if not for perestroika. Against the background of discontent with Soviet policy, many Republican nationalists, including Ivak Marlov, created the party. By the early 1990s, the party had two main wings. Traditionalists are supporters of the national revolution, despising the democratic system, and parliamentary adherents of nationalism within the parliamentary system. Special modifiers. Nationalism. In the controlled regions, there is a drop in the aggressiveness of the lower class, but an increase in the aggressiveness of national minorities. Under the control of certain posts, an increase in influence on the faction of national minorities. National unity. Parliamentary. The basis of the doctrine of the Blue Guard is unity, the triumph of the national over the class. Many people like it, especially the upper strata, but it significantly increases corruption. An increase in corruption in all controlled ministries, a slight increase in support for the upper class, and a drop in aggressiveness in controlled regions. The principle of unity of command, traditional. Blue Guard is a leader. His word is a law. The party is rigidly hierarchical and does not tolerate dissent in its ranks, which, to put it mildly, has a bad effect on the image, especially externally. The threshold of the split is lower, the decline of relations with foreign parties, the growth of the aggressiveness of the middle class. The rich past of the party. Our party fought against Russian Tsarism and Soviet tyranny. When controlling the posts of president, prime minister, foreign ministry, the lower the relations with Russia, the greater the inflow of money into the budgets of ministries. Contempt for democracy. The current political institutions frighten the members of a party. The lower the political freedoms, the higher the increase in the unity of the party, residents, party funds, and administrative points, and vice versa. Order above all. Parliamentary. The cost of all actions in the Ministry of Internal Affairs is reduced. I'm assuming these are my abilities. Militaristic agenda. Traditional. The cost of all actions in the Ministry of Defense reduced. Unique actions. Enemies. MIA 100. Let's show an act of independence in the foreign policy arena to free ourselves from foreign influence. Garrisons. The Ministry of Defense over 75. We will deploy Republican Army garrisons in regions with national minorities to strengthen control over the observance of order. The procession. Legal action over 50. We will arrange a torchlight procession in one of the regions of the country to show the enemies the power of our party. Pogrom. Illegal actions over 50, only for traditional ones. Let's commit a pogrom against national minorities to show them where their place is. Migrants. Illegal actions over 75, only for parliamentary ones. Expel all visitors from the controlled region in order to free up places for indigenous Republicans. Values. Constitutional Commission 100. Introduce the main thesis of our party program into the constitution of the country. So we can go on and on. And on and on. And on and on. Taxes on profits. Ownership. Laws. And that's just this. What about this? Ooh. This game has a lot. Alright, let's see what we've got. We got conservative. Conservative Party seeks to build a state with a controlled market economy and a special national development path. This party is recommended for newcomers for the first run. Okay. Liberal Party aims to adopt the best of civilized American society. Communist Party, taking into account the mistakes of the Soviet past, still stands on the position of Marxism, Leninism, and wants to restore socialism in new conditions. This party is recommended for newcomers for the first run. So either communism or conservatism party are both recommended. Social Democratic Party seeks to build a reformed capitalism where everyone will live happily and in solidarity. Socialist Party follows the example of Sweden and wants to transfer the Swedish model to Republican soil. National People's Party takes the best from nationalism and socialism, proclaiming the third way and republic for Republicans, not for capital. Blue Guard is a national patriotic political organization. Its goal is to build a strong corporatocratic state. That's a hard word. Corporatocratic. So we have several abilities of each. So let's see what the Conservative Party. I might just start with the first one and see how it goes. The invisible hand of the market. Privatization brings 50% more money. The tarnished past. As long as the former leaders of the Republic have not been put on trial or imprisoned, or corruption in all controlled regions and ministries will certainly grow. After the process, rethinking the past. Corruption in the controlled regions and ministries is falling. Traditional values. The family conflicts of the party leader hit the party's indicators hard. Popular hatred. The stroke of the pen of the former president destroyed the USSR. The people's anger will long recall this crime to your party. The threshold of support for the lower class will freeze at 50, while the upper class considers PKK the saviors of the nation. Import substitution. Nationalists. The decline in attractiveness for foreign investment, favorability for small business. However, the increase in efficiency and money in the Ministry of Infrastructure, the Ministry of Industry, and the Ministry of Agriculture. The struggle of the West, post-Soviet. The decline of separatism and the aggressiveness of national minorities in the South and East. The growth of dependence and loyalty of the NDK. The decline of relations with the United States and the EU. So let me see what this means. So BG is Blue Guard, Conservative Republican Party, Liberal Party of the Republic, Social Democratic Party of the Republic, Socialist Party of the Republic, National People's Party, Communist Party of the Republic. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay, so we're just going to start with the Conservative on easy mode. No, standard. We'll go standard mode. Shall we begin? 1951. New member of society. August, morning of 1951. On this sunny day, you first saw this world full of surprises. You were born into a family of a member of the Capitals District Party Committee. Simple Republican minor. Collective farmers from the eastern hinterland. Okay. Oh, did I want to skip? I don't think I wanted to skip. Can I go back? Hold on. I want to go back. Exit. Do I have to Okay, I'm trying to click stuff and it's not doing anything. Is it asking me for something? Oh, there's a next. Okay, so there's next. That's an awkward next. Okay, exit. New game. Standard. Start. Simple. Oh, I get to choose. I see. This is multiple choice. Okay. So do I want to be a simple Republican miner, a collective farmers from the eastern hinterland, or a member of the Capitals District Party Committee? Let's be a Republican miner. I've always been a fascination of, like, the earth and, like, mining. No, serious. You grew up in an ordinary Soviet family with the most ordinary chores and deeds. Your childhood was the same as that of most Soviet children. School, outdoors, summer vacations, with your grandmother, in the village, pioneer camps. Life is a continuous series of adventures. Let it be so. Let it be so. A happy family. You are, a boy. A week later, a woman in labor was discharged from the maternity ward with you. All relatives and friends on that day shared in the happiness of your parents. Your father first took you in his arms and said, "Look, dear, he's just like his dad." Life is a continuous series of adventures. Plus 10 to COG, minus 10 to the RFU. I don't know what either of those mean, but let it be so. Alright, at school you're one of the most successful students, constantly participating in various Olympiads, in the humanities, and often winning various prizes. The teachers admired your talent and prophesied a great future. You graduated from high school with a gold medal and are now ready to move on to the next stage of your life. You choose economics, faculty of the Metropolitan State University, or higher party school under the Central Committee of the CPSU, or I serve the Soviet Union. Economics, baby. Thanks to the Soviet education system and your personal efforts, you easily entered the most prestigious Soviet university. You diligently study economics and dig deep into science. The first course flew by instantly. New acquaintances, studies, student life, great time. So if I do this, that's going to go back, right? No. You also studied hard at the university, and your work did not go unnoticed. Multiple medals and prizes at all the union competitions confirm this. In your third year, you made good friends with your classmate Sergei Vinogradov, who until then had always remained in the shadows. Sergei, by origin, was the son of a director of one large Republican enterprise, known throughout the Union. Once, when you were once again prepared together for the final exam in Capital by Marx, Sergei mentioned that inauthentic socialism was built in the Soviet Union. He told you about a secret group of Marxist-Leninists, which began distributing leaflets against the CPSU throughout the city. Your friend invited you to join the underground movement, but he said that this case is very dangerous, so you get into an argument. You categorically disagree with Sergei and began to defend the Soviet system. Yeah. Of course, the Soviet system allowed you, at least, to get a decent education, and now, thanks to this, you are studying at such a prestigious university. Sergei just shrugged his shoulders in response. A couple of days later, you learned from Sergei that all members of the organization were arrested by the militia. Soon, everyone except the leader of the organization was released, but they were expelled from the university and Komsomol. Now they will have to go to college and restore the image of a diligent Communist Party and the Soviet people. Plus 18 to the influence on Namk. First and only. Oh yeah. That noise is a little grainy. I said it again. The days followed each other, the years passed, and suddenly the last course came. You also continued to study well and often spent your free time with Sergei. Once in the library, Sergei accidentally met his compatriot Nina and introduced you to her. You, as a person not very fond of new acquaintances, grudgingly shook her hand. But then you saw her eyes. Something inside you changed dramatically. A lump in your throat prevented you from uttering and squeezing out even one word. You did not notice how that evening passed. She said that she had come from the Eastern Republic to enter the same university. She also left you her address and invited you to come in for a cup of tea. Somehow, you were in the seventh heaven. You were impressed by her friendliness, yes. Your life will no longer be the same. You increasingly began to spend time together, which made Sergei very sad, with whom you, on the contrary, began to see less and less of. Modifier, wife, idol of the public. Nevertheless, student life went on as before. On one completely ordinary day, the rector's staff invited the famous Chilean communist Manuel Lacunos to give us a lecture. As you know, quite recently, a coup d'etat took place in Chile, as a result of which the socialist government of Salvador Allende was overthrown, and a military junta headed by Augusto Pinochet came to power. Lacunos, known for his outstanding oratory skills, spoke about all the brutality of the established Chilean regime, mass executions, repression against communists and their sympathizers, growing social stratification, poverty, and misery. This is how he described his once prosperous homeland after the military uprising. You sympathetically received what heard, or turned a deaf ear, or thought about the veracity. Oh, we're sympathetic. You reacted with sympathy to the hardships of the Chilean people, who are now having a very hard life under the yoke of the fascist government of Pinochet. At lunch, you shared your opinion with Sergei, but he only said that, this is senseless propaganda, but it is better to keep quiet about such things if you don't want to get kicked out of the university like those Marxist-Leninists. Let it be so. You graduated from the University of Economics, and your talent did not go unnoticed. You were invited to work at the State Planning Committee of the Republican SSR, where you took the position of chief specialist of the department. You very quickly became friends with the head of the organization. To some extent, he became your mentor and helped you get used to a new place. However, finding him in the workplace was very problematic, since he very often went to the places to resolve issues. When he was absent, his deputies often loaded you with work that, in fact, you should not do. Because of this, you were very often left work closer to midnight. You became dissatisfied with the alignment of the events and complained to the director. The director apologized and promised to deal with those responsible. Your colleagues began to treat you worse. Soon, you got a promotion. +7 to the influence of all factions. And now the moment has come. You have already met for several years and have become truly inseparable. You just need to gain strength and tell her this. Marry me. And she agreed. The wedding was pompous. Many guests and relatives came, but Sergei, whom you have not seen for a year, has completely disappeared somewhere. He didn't even congratulate you in return, despite the fact that the invitation was sent. According to your position, you received a spacious 2-room apartment and celebrated a housewarming. This is how your happy life together began. Can a wedding have any disadvantages? Long way up. For the past 3 years, you've worked hard in your position, and your work has not been wasted. On the recommendation of the Director of the State of Planning Commission, you have got a job at the Ministry of Finance of the Republic, becoming the Deputy Minister of Economy. Your family was offered a free car. However, you've been using your father's Zigule for a long time, which was given to him in honor of the 30th anniversary of the victory. As a veteran pilot of the Great Patriotic War who received a hero of the Soviet Union, you're realizing that you don't need a car. As an honest communist, refuse, as there are those who need it more. Absolutely. You gave up on your advantageous position, for which you earned the respect of your colleagues. Nevertheless, even without a second car, your family lives prosperously and does not know the problem of the shortage of luxury goods, which by the beginning of the 80s had become very aggravated. 50 to the party unit, or 5, 2 to all lower in the country. First assignment. The 22nd Olympic Games will start soon. As you know, Republic will be hosts the preliminary games and quarterfinals of the football tournament, so Moscow demands the insurance of the highest food supply to the capital in order to present the USSR as a socialist paradise of abundance. This task was assigned to your department of the State Planning Commission. Perhaps if everything goes off without a hitch, then you can continue on Rays. You decided to withdraw goods from specialty stores, request additional supplies from Moscow, or allocate more funds for overtime, achieving a one-time jump in production. Yeah, I think that. Power to the people, right? By the decree of the State Planning Committee signed by you, a significant part of the budget funds was directed to material and stimulating support of enterprises. At many light industry enterprises, such measures led to a tangible jump in the production of consumer goods, but the cost of wages for workers who worked the night shift cost us a pretty penny. In this regard, a huge number of anecdotes about night shifts, like under the Tsar, appeared among the people, which the party members did not like. Nevertheless, the Olympics went off with a bang. USSR took first place in the medal standings. This, of course, isn't surprising given that the Western countries successfully boycotted the competition. Soviet leadership noticed your efforts and awarded you the Order of Lenin. Today is a lucky day. You had twins, a boy and a girl. Your joy knows no bounds. However, lately you haven't given yourself completely to your work and have spent very little time with your family. Now, it's time to correct this misunderstanding. Yeah, let's go back to the fam. -10 to the party unity. You as a real family person have decided to give your children a real and happy childhood and have devoted your life to raising children. You named your daughter, who looks like you, Nadezhda, and named your son Stepan in honor of your grandfather, a hero of the Civil War. However, life has become even more similar and boring. Every day has become similar to the previous one. You become more absent-minded. Life was relatively peaceful. Your family lived in prosperity, not knowing of the problems of the growing deficit and need for anything. But one day, a black government-owned Volga stopped at your place of work. Obviously, a big guy from the regional committee, but why? Several people hurried up to the third floor of the building. You heard the loud clatter of shoes, obviously Czechoslovak ones, constantly approaching, and then a knock on your office door. You automatically walked to the door and opened it. 3 men in coats and formal hats entered the room. Chief among them, on his left chest, shone the medal of Hero of Socialist Labor and the badge 50 years in the CPSU. It was Nikolai Chmelevsky, the first secretary of the CPR, de facto leader of entire republic. Well, comrade, help out your own party, he began. Moscow expects from us 300,000 tons of coal. We now have, God forbid, half of all this. You are smart. You are a number here. You are smart. A number here, a dozen there, and the required number will be found. You don't want to disappoint Leonid Ilyich, do you? He isn't well. In general, I hope for your conscientiousness, comrade. Yes, I heard that domestic video recorders began to be produced in Voronezh. I'm an old man and do not understand this, but you will need it. A useful thing in everyday life. If you try well, you will put you on special supplies. Do you agree? He asked you. I agree to Chmelevsky's proposal. Oh, +6 to corruption. Party money and all the upper. Nice. Moving up in the upper. The party said it is necessary, you answered. Yes, Chmelevsky was able to report to Moscow about all the implementation of the plan, and he became one of the first owners of the video recorders in the Republic. You also received the Medal of Socialist Labor and a considerable number of Vneshpalsitorg checks. Well, let it be so. Several months have already passed since the death of Brezhnev. The old Yuri Andropov, the former head of the KGB, became the new leader of the Soviet Union despite serious health problems. Yuri Vladimirovich enthusiastically began to cleanse all corrupt officials from the state apparatus and remove people disloyal to himself from the Central Committee, replacing them with younger and more promising party members. Various anti-corruption cases broke out throughout the Union, which also affected Republic. Nikolai Shnevsky, the first secretary of the CPR, who led Republic since Khrushchev's times, has long been considered a symbol of corruption. The investigation of corruption abuses in Republic received a new impetus, which is explained by Andropov's long tenure as chairman of the KGB of the USSR, and as a consequence, by the fact that he had information about the actual state of affairs in Republic, as well as the hostile relations that had developed earlier between Andropov and Shnevsky. The so-called miners case thundered across Republic. He also got on the list of suspects. However, quickly realizing the possible consequences, you roll over on everyone involved in the machinations in the Republican mines. For your loyalty, received a new position, the first secretary of the capital's city party committee. Chmelevsky committed suicide a month after the incident. I'm sure he did. In your new position, you were disliked for your obvious ties with Moscow. You will maneuver between local party officials and the Kremlin, or continue the pro-Moscow, of course. Try to distance yourself. Oh no, Moscow all the way. -2 to the pro-Western and +7 to the separatism in the West. But +2 to the pro-Russian. Most likely as a token of gratitude for the position provided, you allowed the Moscow Commission to investigate the mining case, helping them in everything as much as possible. This has caused a wave of indignation on the part of the national elites who are hostile to your appointment. Gennady Zubov, loyal to Andropov, became the new first secretary of the CPR. House concert. It so happened that Yuri Vladimirovich died, and recently a new anecdote was born in the country. Konstantin Ustinovich Chernenko, without regaining consciousness, took up his duties as general secretary in the party. In the USSR, the so-called apartment concerts have long been widespread. A concert held in an ordinary apartment at home. Under Brezhnev, the attitude towards them was tolerant, but now on the initiative of Chernenko, performing at such amateur concerts is equated with entrepreneurial activity that violates the monopoly of the USSR state concert. In this regard, Moscow demands to carry out demonstrative raids on apartment owners. I ignore the requirement, fulfill the order, or agree with the concert owners for a percentage of ticket sales. That sounds like up my alley. It's not going to make the peoples happy, though, I'm sure. Yeah, everyone's -2 to the medium. +5 to the mafia. Do I want that? Instead of carrying out a government decree, you decided to go for a trick and imposed tribute on the apartment owners who agreed to collude with the authorities. Others, the principal performers, refused to do so and were arrested. Party members are happy. New wise leader. After the sudden death of Konstantin Chernenko, the 2 days before his death, while undergoing medical treatment, supported by Viktor Grishin, suddenly appeared on the television screen during the elections to the Supreme Soviet of the RSFSR, who with difficulty uttered a few welcoming phrases. A young and ambitious newcomer from Stavropol, Mikhail Gorbachev, became the General Secretary of the CPSU Central Committee. All citizens of the Union associate their future and change of life for the better with this name. I welcome, or we're waiting. +7 to the separatism of the pro-Russian. That doesn't help, right? You decided not to make any hasty decisions and to wait. In Moscow, meanwhile, the first party reshuffles begin. Old party workers leave their places and make way for the young. Unrest in the capital. The other day, during the record-short plenum of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Republic, which lasted only 28 minutes, Gennady Zubov, an ethnic Republican and no longer a young leader of the CPR appointed by Andropov, was removed from his post as first secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Republic. In his place was elected the first secretary of the Astrakhan Regional Committee of the CPSU, Vasily Drozdov, sent on the recommendation of General Secretary of the CPSU. Central Committee, Russian by nationality. The Republicans were hostile to the Varangian sent by Moscow. However, student rallies soon broke out in the capital. The demonstrations began when the first groups of Republican youth came out demanding that Drozdov's appointment be cancelled. Rumors of a performance in the square instantly spread throughout the city. In the morning, crowds of young people led by active national patriots came out in front of the buildings of the Central Committee. The demonstrators' posts read, "We demand self-determination. Each nation has its own leader. Don't be 37. Put an end to the great power madness. Moscow demands an immediate end to nationalism and republic." So I sent militia to break up the demonstrations, of course. Or do I make a speech and urge everyone to disperse? Or give rallies the opportunity to grow, to intimidate Moscow? I'd probably gain in favor with the people if I did that. Not so much Moscow, though. Let's give a speech. Let's be inspirational. Oh, the uppers don't like that. Separatism of the pro-Western. He gave a speech during a student demonstration and tried to educate the rebellious youth. However, this only led to further escalation of the protests. Military units were brought into the capital. The military attacked the protesters and began to clean up the city. Sapper shovels and batons were used. The protesters were beaten, sometimes very severely. An emergency regime was declared in the region. Moscow ordered to classify information about the rallies and not to display anything about them in the media, as well as to hold party meetings at enterprises and factories. Order restored. Today you have had a particularly good day. You have been invited to tomorrow's meeting of the Central Committee of the CPR, at which, quite possibly, the question of accepting you as a candidate for the Bureau of the Central Committee of the CPR will be raised. However, on the same day, a children's matinee will be held at school for your children. You have already gone to first grade. But what is more important to you, family or career? You have chosen the only correct path, and the only correct path is that I went to the matinee. -8 to all factions. You made the only correct decision and went to the children's matinee. During the performance of your children, you were so glad that you shed a mean man's tear with happiness. On this day, you were not included in the list of candidates for the Bureau, but you felt like a real father. Life is a continuous series of adventures. Today, your secretary brought you a folder with a list of visitors you were supposed to receive today. Among them, you saw Sergei Vinogradov. You looked in surprise and wondered if it was him. The last time you saw Sergei was more than 10 years ago, and after there was not a rumor about him. However, in the early 80s, throughout third parties, you heard that he managed to escape from the Soviet Union to the west, but nothing more. Nevertheless, the working day was coming to an end, but the most expected visitor never came. You've already started getting ready to go home. In that moment, there was a knock on the door. A man with a mustache, wearing an imported jeans and a short-sleeved shirt, walked through the door. It was Sergei. You did not immediately recognize him, since he's changed significantly during this time and no longer looks like the downtrodden student that he was. It was seen quite recently. "Well, hello, I see you've gotten a good job for so many years," he began. I know, we haven't seen each other for a long time. I'm sorry it happened." All this time, he wandered around the small office and seemed to say this to himself. "You, rather most likely you," he said the last word with obvious malice, glancing at the order of linen on your jacket. "Can I ask yourself, where did I disappear for so long?" So I answer in advance. "I managed to escape from the Union. Let's omit the questions of how. In the early 80s, I contracted the country's largest group of dissidents who published banned literature in the USSR through their samizdat. For what? What for? So I then got the idea to write my own book, in which I could show the truth about life in the USSR. It is understandable that there's such a truth that Soviet censors would never have admitted to the press. But censored Chekists started hunting us when I tried to smuggle it to the West, so I had to flee the country. At first I lived in the FRG. I even saw Pravdalyubov himself, and then I left for France. By the way, here's my book. You can leave an autograph right now if you wish." He finished and threw a book on the table with the laconic title, "Half the Country Jailed." "No wonder it was banned," he said with a grin. "But if you wanted to see me, then why didn't you just come to our house for a cup of tea?" Sergei thoughtfully looked at Gorbachev's portrait in the office for about a minute and finally said, "This is all because of him, you know. In the West, my masterpiece has become a real bestseller, but it has not yet been published in the USSR. My citizenship was recently returned to me, and I rushed here right away. Generally, I will say briefly, there is an orientation to make some serious dough, as young people now say. You have recently legalized joint ventures with foreigners here, and so the customs office is a complete mess. You help me to pass all this bureaucratic red tape, then we can get rich quite out robustly. How? Perhaps you ask. Yes, quite like that." He pointed in amazement at a large box, which stood at the door. "What is it?" you asked. "This, my dear, our future business." He answered and took out a device from the box. In the West, they were already everywhere, but in the USSR, they haven't thought of such a miracle technology yet. Game console for TV? If everything goes like clockwork, then the profit will be simply cosmic. We just need to fool these idiots from customs and take it to the country under the guise of a batch of computers, and then we will sell it to the state agencies at exorbitant prices under the guise of new models. Of course, I won't hurt you with a share either. Do you agree? Do you, brother? Yes, looking at you with his manic gaze. Oh, I'm gonna read video games? Yes, absolutely. I agree. Modifier, business with Sergey, and +1 private enterprise. You self-understood. Times are difficult now. Any income is useful, you answered. Sergey put the box back and shook your hand. From now on, you and I are partners, buddy. Sergey really did not deceive you. After a couple of calls to customs, as well as several suitcases with rubles, a stable stream of gaming devices in the USSR improved, and you were the one who got a considerable percentage of sales. Let it be so. Perestroika went according to plan until the fateful 1989. At the end of the last year, the 19th Party Conference outlined the holding of elections to a new body of state power, the Congress of People's Deputies of the USSR. Nevertheless, contrary to your expectations, you lost the elections and were not included in the list of People's Deputies. At the March meeting of the Politburo, you said that all 7 party leaders, representatives of the administrative and military circles, lost in the capital. In July 1989, during his arrival in the capital, Gorbachev demanded that you resign for health reasons from the post of First Secretary of Capital City Party Committee. After that, Mikhail Sergeyevich asked you if there were worthy party members in the capital who could take this important post. You recommended him. Oh, who is this familiar intellectual? I must know. You advised Gorbachev to appoint your close friend and employee of the Institute of Physics, Andrei Gorky, known for his democratic slogans. A few days later, he replaced you in this position. After spending only a few months as head of the regional committee, campaigned for democratization, market reforms in the Union, and the protection of human rights, but soon died suddenly. Fyodor Vasilyev, who replaced him, who taught at the Department of the Institute of Physics and was closely associated with Gorky, quickly got used to the new post and began to take control of the party funds sent from the center. Alright, 2 more. You experienced very hard such a sudden betrayal of the party, for the benefit of which you have worked all your life. However, in the early 1990s, you had the chance to return to politics. You put forward your candidacy in the elections of People's Deputies of Republic and won. Nevertheless, despite the fact that you ran for the CPSU, during your speech at the Congress of People's Deputies, you declared your categorical disagreement with the party's position and announced, with your withdrawal from it, joining the moderate right wings of the United Opposition, formed during the Congress and united around itself all the opponents of the CPSU. After your triumphant speech, you were invited to the first Constituent Party Congress of the Opposition, at which the issue of nominating a single candidate for the all-Republican presidential elections was to be decided. Among the leaders of the UO are Boris... This font is tricky. Stetscherbatsky and Evgeny Zulninik. The first is an ardent nationalist and Democrat, a supporter of the foreignty of Republic, while the second is a socialist reformer and adherent of the Swedish model. Many opposition figures supported one of the candidates. Now you start your speech and propose to nominate a nationalist Democrat. The balance of power in ministries is changing. You propose to nominate Boris Stetscherbatsky. I think it's Stetscherbatsky, a well-known Democrat and nationalist, as a candidate. Republic needs a person who can revive our national dignity, carry out democratic transformations, and direct our motherland to a bright future, you said. The Congress is completely in solidarity with you and elected Stetscherbatsky as only opposition candidate. Stetscherbatsky, in turn, offered the post of vice president to Zulnik, to which the latter agreed. Stetscherbatsky and Zulnik easily defeated the candidate from the CPSU. However, over time, you began to become more and more disillusioned with the opposition politics. If in 1990 the country already looked sick, but the power was still strong, 1991 was the year of crisis. The commodity deficit has reached its climax. Market reforms have just begun. But the planning strategy system is no longer working. Republic was on the verge of starvation. President Stachebbatsky actually turned out to be a real populist and careerist, showing his true fascist guise. Empty words and exclamations to restore the greatness of Republic completely plunged the country into the abyss of anarchy. You were right, Chernobog! Anarchy! On August 18th, the day of your 40th birthday, you learned about the coup in Moscow. You no longer believed anyone and fell into complete apathy, fearing for the fate of your country. After the defeat of the coup, you understood that this could not continue. You fully realized that the united opposition turned out to be not an opposition at all, but a pitiful handful of populists rushing to defeating Trau. After the failure of the coup, you decided to found your own party, the party that will truly pull Republic out of crises. Found your party. Boom. Your own brainchild, which includes all people close to you in terms of views. Soon the party will surely gain mass character. In December 1991, President Stachebbatsky signed the Capital Republican Accords, thereby securing the collapse of the USSR. However, the very next day, mass rallies began throughout Republic. People dissatisfied with the lack of food, lack of gas supply, unemployment, and general chaos around took up arms against the president, whom they themselves elected just over a year ago. Militia sent by the government to quell the protests refused to raise weapons against their own citizens. Wow. Frightened for their fate, Stachebbatsky and Zulnik quickly realized that this was time to flee. How otherwise it would be too late. Taking a couple of $100 million from the budget, they quickly fled Republic, leaving in the country even without any power. The Supreme Council of the Republic had scheduled new elections from April 1992. We're forward to a brighter future, and so we begin. After all that, we begin. Alright, January 1st, 1992. Where do we start? Diplomacy. Whew, there's a lot here. We should request a loan from the bank. Diplomacy is run by Pusto. Alright. Okay, so whatever one I'm in, I can go back to the map. Laws. Gun carrying law. Prohibited. Hunting under license. No license. Road law. State free. Wow, I can get pretty restrictive here. Border control. Free migration. Visa-free regime for all. Return subsidies. Pension security. Only private pensions. Pensions at 65. A mixed system. Only state or early retirement. I've heard this song before. There's a game called Lemmings that makes use of this song quite well. Pollution control, none. Labor law, negotiated with trade unions. Wow. Court control, appointed by the state. It needs 50% of the votes. Supervision of prisoners. Alcohol. Persons over 16, persons over 18. Prohibited at night. Alcohol is prohibited, or free access. Smoking law. Free cigarette advertising. Only for adults. Only in designated areas. Ooh, cigarette tax. We are on our way to emancipate our country from the tobacco threat. Does this show you like who prefers this style, or who's only allowed to use it? Well, I'm conservative and I have free cigarette advertising, so as far as who's allowed to use it is not the case. Marijuana prohibited. Legal. Only in medical purposes. Well, let's see if we can do this one. How do I initiate? Everyone's absent, so nobody's here to even vote, huh? Okay, well. Youth control? In true democracy, the opinion of every member of society must be taken into account. Ooh, there's a lot to this game. Next elections are on April 1st, 1992. There's nothing in research. Please open factions and research and choose something to research. Okay. Please open factions. Research and choose something to research. Research. Hey, internet. It's time to abandon the outdated FidoNet and not only connect to the global network, but also develop our own national resource. Bonds. We must adopt Western social technologies to improve the efficiency of our business. Discs. Wait, I clicked something. Wait, what happened? Load. Something happened. Okay, it just lights up. Well, you know what we could do is, it doesn't seem like anything's changing, so maybe the game has to be moving. Oh, okay, here we go. Our first story. Homeless Homeland. Assad banners recognized as architectural heritage. Less than a month later, Belovezhskaya agreements were signed, and new problems fell on the already independent republic. President Shtacherby and Vice President Zhulnik left the country after the massive rallies that have engulfed the republic in the past few days. Woe reformers and patriots of the nation who vowed that with the fall of communism, we would all finally live like in the West, took with them, according to some sources, several million budget funds and immigrated to Switzerland. Their well-being, of course, has improved significantly, perhaps for them, in a sense. The communism promised by the Soviet government came. Whatever you can say about the standard of living as citizens. The protests ended with the fact that the government of the Republic, after negotiations with the strikers, agreed to transfer power before the new elections to the Provisional Republican Committee, formed from the deputies of the Supreme Soviet. The elections themselves are scheduled for May this year. thought it was April that it was scheduled. Let's go here. Now let's see if we can research something. Researching nothing. 1 second. Okay. I'll deal with that later. 90s year techs, 95s year techs, and 2000s year techs. Oh, I should probably read how this works. Research tab is located in the factions section. All sciences are divided into 3 columns and become available as you play in the 90s, 95s, and 2000s years. The influence of each technology is described in more detail in other sections of the manual. Only the party that controls science can start or change the research technology. Such a party is chosen after the elections. Ah, okay. Several factors affect this. The number of deputies, the unity of the party, the number of posts in the government of the Republic. Each research takes 20 months, but you can easily switch from studying one technology to another while progress will not be reset. An opposing party, if it has managed to break out into the country's leading political force, can also change the technology under research to another, which it considers to be of higher priority. With the help of some ministries and international cooperation programs, it is possible to speed up the research progress. Internet. Plus 2.2 to the favorable conditions for small businesses. Plus 0.1 to the aggressiveness of the middle class. Bonds. Monthly impact. -2 to the aggressiveness of the middle class. That could be important. -2 to the aggressiveness of the middle class. RFQ influence. And this is monthly. 0.2 small number of businesses. Plus the number of cooperatives. 250 to the country's budget. Ugh. MCST. That sounds too important. Possibility to create your own satellite program. Alright, let's go back. Ooh, we can do stuff. We should directly demand re-elections from the ruling party. We'll make them. We can sell 10 of our currency on the Republican exchange. Current rate of our currency is 12. We have 0. I can't do anything right now. I'm always missing. Oh, we could build. We need to build a church at the expense of our party, where candles will be placed for the health of or rest only of our wise leader. Let's do it. Will of the Almighty. A rally was held in the capital to recognize the right to disorder in the apartment. A significant event happened at Capitol. The first stone was laid for a new Republican patriotic church, designed in the Republican Rococo style, construction of which was fully sponsored by CRP. Archimedean Joseph and the leader of CRP. The Almighty has condescended his will upon us and granted us the temple of God, where the parishioners will be able to reunite with him in their prayers. May he grant eternal power over the Republic. CRP. Said the head of the Republican Church, and solemnly, together with the leader of CRP, laid the first stone of the future temple. So it begins. Let's click on one of these and see what happens. Oh. We can zone our places, spiritual food. So we can up to 3 national projects. Is there anything we could do? 60. We need party unity of 60%, right? Oh, this is almost 60, right? Let's go to the next day. This probably skips 1 day, or 1 month, 2 months, 3 months maybe. So these are just stats. Budget. Aggressiveness. Okay, I'm learning. Ooh, East region is 240,000 unemployed. Now granted, there's a lot of people there. 8% crime rate. Northern is 9%. North, south, west, east, and capital. Okay. Understood. Parties. Oh wow, the Blue Guard has a ton of members. How come we don't have very many members? There's a lot. $89%? Wow. U.S. President George Bush, under the economic doctrine of laissez-faire, aggressiveness of the national minorities in East and South, minus 0.5. Crime in the East and South, though, plus 0.4. With the influence of Russia on us above 35. What happens if I click this? Nothing? Russian President Boris Yeltsin. Freezing nuclear weapons extradition. Falling relations with the West and the CIS. Why do I have several? Oh, Western, Capital, Industrial, Southern. Parties. Nationalization costs twice as much. So these are our perks, right? Like traditional values, because I went to the play, right? Cannot get less than 10%. Economics, here we go. Percentage of state ownership is 100 in the energy sector. And the railways. 70% of minerals. Corruption. Every 6 months the year is not equal to 1992. Previous average value of corruption in the country is 0. Well, let's advance the day again, see what happens. Or the month. Hey, whoa, we had the elections. What, 1992? I thought we were 1990. No, we're 1992. Now that we've had the, did we blow past the elections in April? Did I miss something? Unity of the party is too low. Its further decrease will lead to a crisis. I mean, we could just advance time to see what happens. Oh, it's day, month, year. I thought it was month, day, year. There we go. Republic awaited at Takis. Ducklings from the village of Vasevo safely crossed the road in a designated area. You go, ducklings. The European Economic Union at the end of the previous year announced the launch of the CIS Technical Assistance Program, which provides assistance to accelerate the process of economic reform in post-Soviet countries. European grants are transferred in the form of consultations, referral of expert groups, research and training by creating a legal and regulatory framework, pilot projects. Today, the European Parliament called on the government of Republic to join the program. Is that good? The time for empty promises has come. After gaining independence of the Republic, gravity appeared here. The next parliamentary elections should be held very soon, of course. The competition will be huge, so every party wants to appear in the best possible way before the voters. And what could be better for the crowd than making many promises to lift the country from its knees? The season of endless pre-election speeches and debates is declared open. Our priority is the creation of a developed healthcare system. At the first election, there will be no disadvantages to the unity of the party and the administrative resource. The meaning of the law. Healthcare should be changed to free healthcare. Current value is Khosrachal. The well-being of working classes, direct aim for us. At the first election, there will be no disadvantages to the unity of the party and the administrative resource. Increase the wealth of the lower class to 64. It ups it by 21. Increase the wealth of the middle class to 90 from 60. Well, we can't have the lower class higher than the middle class, right? Entrepreneurs are the light of the nation. They must become even richer. Upper class goes from 97 to 100. Revival of the nation is the direct task of a party. The first election, then, yeah. Increase the population of the republic. Oh, increases it like stinking 20%. Almost. It is necessary to solve the demographic issues. The meaning of the law about social benefits should be changed to global standards, and currently it's small benefits. I like the upping the lower class, honestly. But it's such a huge jump for the middle class. Let's promise the lower class. And yes, the lower class. Create a developed pension system is our goal. Current values make system, but maybe to only state. I don't know. Improving the environmental situation. Pollution control is set to no. It should be control of factories. Investment in the environment is our nation. Invest 3 times as much into our environment. Small business development is our goal. Ups at 21%. Reducing the tax burden is the task of our priority. Flat taxation average taxes to flat taxation low taxes. I like low taxes. I think many people would agree with that. The goal of our party is to ensure security on streets of Republic. Reduce crime from 16 to 11. Oh. A small business. Nothing threatens the integrity of the Republic. Reduce corruption. Whoa. You can't join political organizations. Reduce dependence on the powers to 15. Currently 30. Sovereignty is key. Promise nothing this time. No. Promise. Yeah, promise those things. Oh, I can only choose one. I thought I was choosing one in each category. Well, small business for sure, yeah? The next parliamentary election should be held very soon, of course. The competition will be huge, so every party wants to appear in the best possible way before the voters. And so it is. I don't think there's anything really to do in the meantime till those elections are held. Free Republic! 7 missing GKCHP members were found in the toilet of the White House. Today, the Supreme Council of Republic has ratified the Belovetskaya Agreement, thereby securing the country's independence status. The name of the state was also changed. Soviet Socialist Republic became Republic. Okay. Pre-election debates. 1 more month. Afghan leader says Kabul fortress will stand 1,000 years until country liberation. Okay, so this is just a tabloid crawl or whatever. The election race has been actively going on in the Republic for the last few months. The leaders of the parties present their programs and proposals for the transformation of the Republic. Tonight on the First Republican TV channel, a debate of the leader CRP with the leader Blue Guard, which analysts all the main competitor for CRP should take place. The winner of these debates, as before, will be determined by the vote of viewers. Ooh. Result can either be successful or unsuccessful. The outcome depends on the presence of modifier, the leader of the political arena, unity of the party, administrative points, party resources, the level of relations with the pro-Russian party, which I was up and down on that, right? Presence of the ruling of pro-Russian wing of the party. The indicators of our party and the opponent party are compared. Relations with the U.S. The number of unconstitutional actions. Economic issue. Domestic policy. Promote the interests of NAMC. The Union of the Women of the Republic? Nonsense. Presence of the ruling right wing in the party. Gender of the character. The presence of an alliance with the RPC or a relation with it. Well, I'm not a woman in this game, so I don't know if this one would be helpful, right? What about the interests in the UTU? Presence of an alliance with the national minorities or relations with them. Let's do domestic policy. That's something everyone can get behind, right? Following the results of last night's debate between CRP and Blue Guard, the audience award goes to the leader of the Blue Guard, who was supported by 64% of the audience as a result of the telephone vote. The leader of Blue Guard skillfully focused attention on the problem that worries all citizens of the Republic, the issue of domestic policy. Ensuring security on the streets of the Republic is the duty of the state. We must make the lives of our citizens calm and comfortable. So the leader of Blue Guard summed up his speech. Oh, party split. A personal deputy for party affairs. Chairman, I'm giving you the latest news urgently. A group of influential members in the party is dissatisfied with your leadership and intends to raise the issue of removing you from the leadership position of the CRP at the next meeting. We urgently need to solve this problem while we still have influence over the party. Bribe the disaffected. Too weak representation in the regions. Whatever happens. Chairman, it happened. The opposition managed to remove you from the post of chairman, and now you are not chairman. It looks like the end of the CRP has come. Well, we lose. But that's it. After the sensational dismissal of the CRP party leader from the post of chairman, the party's affairs were getting worse and worse every day. The new head of the party could not adequately cope with the internal disagreements and reconcile the disaffected in the party. As a result, in the next elections, CRP could not even get into parliament. The party congress that took place immediately after that stated the fact of the complete collapse of the party, part of the particularly dissatisfied constituting about a third of all delegates, announced their resignation from the party and their intention to create their own correct party. Over time, CRP ceased to receive seats even in the parliaments of the regions, as a result of which, by the mid-2000s, its political activity and influence began to equal zero. Well, we lose. Wow. I feel like we were supposed to be doing stuff, right? I was just trying to get to the election. Wait. I was just trying to get to the elections and see if I could actually start researching something. Invest. Our country is poor. Okay, well, I could have been doing this, I guess, yeah. Maybe. Steel. I wonder if I might need to, like, research a little bit on how to even play this game. I'm clearly missing a huge bit of what I need to be doing. What's my budget? Budget's 350. Why is clicking this do nothing? Okay. Yes. May this year. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now I'm doing something. Current system is rotten and does not correspond to the realities of life, and I hope our comrades understand this, and if so, isn't it time for us to organize? Okay, now I guess I'm doing something now, instead of just letting time go and just sitting on my butt, huh? Director, leader of the National Association of Trade Cartels. Mr. Chairman, I understand that you're very interested in concluding a profitable alliance with us, honest businessmen and entrepreneurs working for the good of the Republican people. But as you know, not everyone can be awarded this honor. We greatly respect Conservative Republic Party and its constituents. However, securing our support will not be easy. What can you offer us? We are not going to wait for you all the time. Okay. So I'm spending $10 to do this. Okay, so I'm spending party unity on that. My relations hit 50, so now... I gotta make sure I spend my resources where I need to. Well, now that my relations is 50 plus some of these, with the help of our comrades, we were able to recruit more resident spies into our combat structure. Oh, my relations went way down with that. Okay, I learned a few things. Load. Play. Alright, so what do we do here? Financial assistance. So who likes us currently? There's no Republican Feminists Union. Well, who cares about them, right? Apparently. So we got the church. Congress. Let's hold a joint. So party unity. Where's party unity? That's how much this is. Okay, does that cost party unity? This gives us influence, I'm sure. You look serious. Collusion with the church. Archmaiden Joseph. Metropolitan of the Republican Patriotic Church. God bless you. Why did you come to the Temple of God, Mr. Chairman? I understand that politics is a dirty business and you need to confess your sins. People make mistakes, but the Lord will forgive everything and set the right path. What? You offer us to make an unspoken alliance? I think you know that the Republican Patriotic Church is trying to keep its distance from all political intrigues, although this does not always work out. However, we are ready to listen to you if you offer something important for all of our parishioners, and I will say a word about you to the Most High. Oh, that is, my fellow archbishops from the Patriotic Synod. So, we don't have enough clout, right? Like, long live our Lord. So does that change anything? Like, can I try that again and see what he does? Does anything different? Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. Oh, that beeping noise as I go over these things is actually annoying. Lurid Mafia. Ooh, racket. What's important? The rebel army, union of trade unions of trade unions, in country impact, administrative resource 10. That's 10 of these to promote. Is that a lot though? Oh, these are our relations right now. Okay, that's how population, right? Upper, middle, and lower class aggressiveness. Okay, I'm understanding a little bit here. Diplomacy. Okay, I can't really do anything here. We can almost do something with this. Ministers. And we can invest in our ministers, yeah? Free money in the ministry. Oh, probably increases corruption to steal, yeah? So, we have access to all this because the operability is 100, right? Okay. Alright, what can we do here? What should we do here? Our influence is 4 here. President. Oh, we can assassinate the president? Wow. We can assassinate the prime minister? Yikes. By pulling the strings of their friends in the USA, this organization will be able to help our two countries get along. Huh. Alright, Club of Generals. What is Club of Generals? This club arose during the blah blah blah. So the club arose during the attempt by the first president to purge the generals. Then, due to the threat from the newly created club, he abandoned this idea of his. Now the club represents a serious, albeit passive, force of republic, ready at any time to protect the interests of the security forces, and especially the high military command. Alright, what can we do to help out here? 10 relations points. But where does it show my agents? Like, is it 8, 21, and 39? Is that changing? Nothing changes. Okay, 1 second. I want to try something. Let's try again. Let's go to the church and just throw money at it, yeah? Yeah, I just spent all of my administrative resource promoting the church. Our influence is nothing. Let's hold a joint congress of a party and their organizations trying to find a common ground. It takes, like, party unity to do that. Let them restrict their illegal actions. The law is the same for everyone. So what does our influence have to be? 3.4. Let's try something. 3.4. Let me go to here to the church. Go to recruits. 6.8 now. Okay, so that's where it increases. So let's try something now. Let's try going to here and recruit as much as we can, and then meet up. 23.8. Still not enough. I feel like it has to do with influence, but we can only get influence up with support of all classes 10. We don't have support of the lower class enough. Ah, we're just short of the lower class. How do we increase the lower class? We can't change the law unless we're in office, right? Like, how do we increase the lower class here? I don't think it's party resources. Oh, wait, we have 23.8 no matter where we are. Oh, we're taking it out. Okay. So if we go and just we can recruit. Ah, we're recruiting from the respective place. It allows us to do less by taking relations from them, but we get people for it. Okay. What's important? There's so many random things, seemingly random things. Research. Ooh, foreigners, what's this? We don't have 25 relations for... By helping minority organizations with money, we'll improve relations with them. By supporting projects of national minorities, we will improve relations with them. Aggressiveness is increasing. So we're just... Oh, we can go into negatives? Violence. Oh, wow. That lowers aggression. Oh, we are in the hole. Let's get it to 75 and see what we can do. Status disabled. Punish. Attack. Well, let's keep throwing money at it, right? Part of the deputy mandates should be allocated to representatives of national minorities organizations so that they finally have a platform for speeches. Well, this doesn't really make a lot of sense what's actually occurring. We're seeing what our options are, at the very least. I mean, it's taking us like an hour and a half to figure this game out. Alright, what do we got here? Blackmail. Well, now I know I can just throw money at this. Even beyond. what we own, right? No, we can't go in the hole with these people. Alright, well, we hit 90. Ah. There we go. Influence on the faction is not quite 100. So by bribing and helping someone in need, the NAMC will be able to ensure a significant increase in unity in the ranks of our party. What does this do? Increases our... Oh, it dropped our influence. I thought it increased our influence. I'm still not sure what we're trying to accomplish with this. Let's actually pass some time to see what happens with our money. So our money is 310. So 45, 60, 310. Okay. $45, 63, 10 still. Two months. 45.1. Whatever I did. Just before the debate, the leader refused to participate in them. Great job, German. The disaffected received their unfortunate bags of money and went on a trip around the world. It was then that we expelled them from the party. The threat of your suspension is over. Beautiful. It only cost me 10. Well, when am I going to get funds? Like, I'll read that later when we actually are playing. Election hour. State budget. I'm just trying to see. Hey, 300 and 3. Oh my. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of stuff going on. Let's go back a bit. What if we start pulling from all these things? Where are the deputies? Where do the deputies exist? We don't have deputies. Attention, at ease, comrade chairman. I've always said and will continue to speak, the Army of the Republic will always be out of politics. All these are your political toys are alien to us. What? Repeat? Will our representatives enter the cabinet and minister if we help you organize a military coup? Then another thing. But first you need to discuss all the conditions of our non-political alliance. Totally non-political alliance. Absolutely. Ah. Increase aggressiveness. Oh, that was costing me something. Well, aggressiveness is now 100. Now we're cooling them down. At the cost of what? Nothing? This is a very confusing game. I don't know what I'm doing. I sadly might have to do a little bit of research on this game, see if I can get it figured out, because it's not really helping out with any kind of hint as to like what I need or want to be doing here. Okay. So these are RF and these are USA. I can't really do anything with any of these. Party's unity. It's too low, but what is it? Like, I'm assuming we don't have any governors here. These are connections, front companies, and monetary rewards. We can find new residents for our war wing. We should put some of the party money into a secret account in a Swiss bank so that in the event of unforeseen circumstances and persecution, everyone is calm about the availability of an invaluable amount of money. The party bosses will spend some on personal expenses. Wow, we gained party unity with that. Costs residents and money, but... Well, now that we have party unity, though, like, well, some of these things cost party unity, right? Party money. Oh, regions. Where's the party? There. Mr. Chairman, I suppose the time has come to settle scores with your political opponents. We will have to allocate a certain amount of party resources to redirect the people's anger against one of the 6 parliamentary parties. Our administration claims that it will be possible to keep the protest wave only until the beginning of next month. Also, if we put pressure on our common enemies in this way, then we'll be able to blackmail them and get dirt on their deputies in Parliament. We cannot go against ourselves. Let's go against the communists. Mr. Chairman, you can rest assured that your enemies will fall before your knees asking for your mercy. Preparations for protests are in full swing. It's day 1. We're already rallying against the CPR. Mass rallies took place near the headquarters of the CPR in Capitol today. The protesters chanted slogans, CPR, the party of the enemies of the people, CPR, the shame of Republic, and also demanded that the party leader be immediately handed over to the People's Court. Having failed to make any concessions, the protesters tried to take the headquarters by storm, but were quickly driven out by the arriving militia. Nevertheless, the ardent ill-wishers of the CPR promised to come back and get justice. Some political scientists suggest that persecution began on CPR, and customers should be looked for in the highest political establishment of our parties. Unity of the party is too low. I thought it was at 100. Did I just spend it? Oh, I must have. Where's party unity at? I went to here. Illegal actions. So we need a... In this cruel world of political competition, to fight alone is tantamount to suicide, but before we unite, we must separate ourselves decisively. Chairman, we are alone in this cruel world of politics, but everything can be fixed. It's time to find an ally among the leading parliamentary parties, but first we need to establish contacts with their representatives in order to probe the ground and find out their intentions. Let's establish with the Blue Guards. I like the color blue. Very well, Chairman. We'll start making connections with the Blue Guards. Okay, I learned a couple things. So let's exit. Let's do that straight up. Coalition ally. Blue Guards. See if we can gather unity of the party. Oh, hey, wait. We got collaborations with the Blue Guard now. We can't take it anymore. Break off the relationships. Or... Party money of allied party. We lose party unity when we start allying, right? Spending unity for that. Where does it show my unity with them? Parliamentary is going down, but traditional is going up. So much of this doesn't make sense. Well, that's not what I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to do something else. Not necessarily, right? Well, let's leave that alone. I wanted to, let's go to, where is it? There you go. Purge. We must get rid of the party of revisionists and opportunists here now. Purge, purge, purge. Party budget. Well, we just purged a bunch of support. Gained a bunch of party. Whoa. We can buy 10 of our currency on the Republican Exchange. We sell 10 of our currency. Okay, let's try that. Sell. We buy 10 of our currency. Oh yes, the church. So Unity goes down 25, budget goes down 150. We get a license for a year. But we have a license and we do it once a year. So if I do the bank thing, it takes 3.4 residents and 10 of our budget, but increases our Unity by 20. Unconstitutional actions, 2. Okay. We have full Unity. What do we do with this full Unity now, though? We could, go to factions and start promoting. Yeah. No, not promoting. There we go. Getting influence up here. Let's try and max out our influence in this one. Let's just see what happens. Oh, I can only do it as... I thought I could do it more than that. With the help of our comrades. Oh, yes. Blackmail. Illegal actions. But we can't blackmail if we have our own illegal actions we've done. By bribing and helping someone in need, you know, ensure a significant increase in unity in the ranks of our party. What's it going to cost us, though? Relations went way down, but unity went way up. Our influence is only 25. So our influence went down. Oh, it costs 15 unity. Oh, wait, I should... Let's actually try that one more time. And learn some more things here. So illegal, sure, yeah, I know it's bad, right? Bad, bad, bad. Root this, go back to here, go to here, go to promote, promote, Congress. Go back to here, do a couple of illegal things. And Congress, Congress, Congress. Now let's see what happens. Why? I've got... Is it because I don't have recruits enough? What am I missing? Unity? Do I actually need Unity for this? I've only done one action. Technically. Relationships with an allied party. Do I need higher relations? Like, they don't take me seriously, and I don't know why. Yeah, I should have done it with somebody who already liked me a bit. I think this one gives me cash, right? This one has to do with cash. Look at that, small business. Like, does the game only truly, like, begin once the elections hit? Alright. I think I'm gonna have to do some research on this game to understand it some. So there's no lead as to what's important right now. Like, I don't know what's important. What am I shooting for? Unless it's just fully open-ended where I'm trying to discover that on my own. I'm gonna park this one for a bit, see if I can figure some more out about it.